Good afternoon. This is Man-Child and the Yogi. I'm here. James is here in the booth.
What up?
My lovely wife, Hillary, the Yogi, and me, Aaron. Anxiety-ridden, wiping myself with a calming night wipe. I think they're for menopause. I don't know. They're working for this old queen. All right? Mm-hmm. This old queen.
So, right. Yeah, you had to have a lavender wipe, which I think is really interesting.
I'm stressed out, man. Too much driving. We've been going through a lot of shit. So yeah, that made me feel great. Yeah. Now I know what a sponge bath can do for someone. Just a nice little calming little 5 minutes.
Do you? So yeah, it's been an interesting time. I had surgery on Monday. I had an oophorectomy and a salpingectomy.
You said that a couple of days ago. Is it really called an oophorectomy?
It is really called an oophorectomy, yes.
Really quick, with all medical terms in general, they could calm everything the fuck down like, for 1 second. Does it have to be called all that? Every letter in the alphabet?
Don't make me laugh.
Every letter? Or could we just call it like, when they shorten them to like Lou Gehrig's or like, something like that?
That's really not short.
The oof.
Anyways. So I want to talk about our July because July was insane. And I actually can't believe it's over. I'm kind of glad it's over, but I can't believe it's over. So the beginning of July was a total shit show, basically. We had your birthday, which was amazing, on the 7th.
It was my birthday. Anniversary on the 8th.
Which was the same day I found out, or I got diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And then the next day, found out my teacher of 29 years just died in her sleep in Tokyo. At 55 years old.
And if someone that healthy, you just never, like, I'm not like trying to like belittle it where it's like, you never know when you're going to go. And it's hard to hear the horse shit like that from someone you lost, someone you love. And it just is really weird for her with her lifestyle being so healthy and what she does and everything that you never know.
Yeah. So, I definitely want to chat about her a little bit. We went to LA when they wanted to do surgery a week before this last week, but I needed to go to LA.
So instead of getting, they told her to do surgery immediately, and she said, no, I'm going to go to Los Angeles first. So that's where she is with that. My teacher
passing trumped my surgery.
So what did you do, honey? What I was running around, and you went out to your old studio.
I started at the original Yoga Works in Santa Monica, Montana Street, in the early '80s. Trained in early '90s. Trained in the late '90s, and then was with them until I moved in 2004. And then I opened Hilltop Yoga in Michigan, where Mati Ezrati, my teacher, would come and guest teach every other year. So I feel very grateful in so many ways to have a piece of that lineage in my teaching, just in general. I mean, Mati was in that first room with Patabi Joyce, so this lineage is extremely clean as far as.
And how important is that? Because you say that a lot, but I think about that where it's like me when I was still acting in New York and stuff. It's like you always wanted to tell people who you studied with. Like,
always.
I studied with David Mamet. Okay, you must not suck. But so it's always good to pay homage.
It's most important. And what's happening now, and I'm finding this really interesting, is that there's so much disregard now for the teacher and for the traditional lineage. It's as if people just want to get trained and they want to.
Oh, you mean they're selfish, self-centered pieces of shit?
I don't know about that. I feel that, yoga has been passed down from teacher to student since it began. And the idea is that it's passed down with integrity and that the lineage is held and that the tradition is held. I have a really hard time with people that disregard their teachers and the houses that hold them. I think if you are in a house that holds you for 15 years with a teacher that trained you, there probably needs to be a level of love and respect there. Otherwise, why would you be there for 15 years?
This is how it basically would go. Like, I think about like a comedy bios or when people talk, it's like it should start out, for example, like your teacher that left. Something like that. It's like it should start out with like if it's going to be a post, I just want to take a minute to thank my home studio of 15 years for letting me grow as an artist, as a teacher, this, and that. I wouldn't be who I am today opening this place if it wasn't, or just not.
That's what I say. That's how I feel.
I know,
but
I'm telling you, people do it in
place.
comedy too. It's like if you put someone on, someone will ask me for 5 minutes on a show that they should be so happy that they're on. for free, and they act like I book them to do the show. I'm like, the show will go on without you, so you might as well be a little thankful. Like, I'd like to thank, not me, but like, I'm on the show. The headliner is amazing. I've looked up to him or his work for blah, 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 blah. And I'm so glad just to be in the room. Instead, people are like, oh my God, I'm on this show tonight. Like, it's not about you. You got 10 minutes of material, and you're just out here acting like it's your show. You're on the show. You didn't open for somebody either. You didn't open for somebody.
I get it. And I think it's two pretty different worlds. I think too as well. But
like calm and wipe.
You just wipe the table with it and then your face. But okay.
Not calm. I need another one.
Oh my God.
Garcon.
I feel extremely grateful not to have just known her as my teacher, though. I mean, we had time together and her silly coffee and shopping with her, and I feel like I was supposed to have this person in my life for sure. And you would always want that level of love and integrity with the people that you train or the people that train you, et cetera, but it's not always going to be that way. So,
and I'll tell you, and how I felt when it was happening too, because it's so, I know this about myself, that as much as I try to be vulnerable and be like emotional, like I block myself, like I protect myself. And like seeing you go through that so vulnerably and like just so really honestly how hurt you were, like I was like, part of me is like, I wish I could feel, it's like the feeling that you get. It's like, because you do care so deeply for your teacher.
I do. I love my people. I love my teachers and my students. This is, it's part of being a training teacher, though. It's happened now 10 times. So, and I remember asking Mati about all of this, training people who then open their own spaces. It's just kind of par for the course. But Mati would always say to me, especially if there's like disregard in the space of it, no acknowledgement of where they were trained, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Swallow a bug?
She would say, I had a breathing tube in 2 days ago.
Oh my God, I'm a dick.
She would say, don't let the mistrust of one person keep you from trusting everyone. Which is really important.
And also just like,
I love my people. So
like kind of like fuck all that kind of shit. Because like none of it is ever going to really, I know pretty sure that it's never going to hurt you professionally or your spirit of it, even though you want to step on someone's neck sometimes, because that's how I feel. It's like, but you're never going to control those kind of people. They're just like, they're greedy little like.
No, I don't even know if it's about control. Anyways.
No, because the thing is, like you said, it's par for the course, because that's what I've always reminded you of, and I think you accept. It's like, if you're going to charge someone to pass on the teachings or whatever, most likely they have aspirations of doing something bigger than just being in someone else's room. So that's part of it, but it's the way you do it, which makes total sense, because it's always better for people to like you than to be scared of you or whatever. Like, screw him, I'm on my own now. It's like, if it's just like the world is big enough for everyone to do their own thing, it's because it's done with respect. Like, hey, I'm like the market. I'm out of that cheese today, but you know who has that? My friend down the street who owns the other deli 3 blocks down or whatever. Like, that's love.
No,
you know what I mean?
know, and no one does that, though, in any field. It's really, I dealt with that with all my first surgeries. It's like all that first surgeon that got on my neck had to do is say, oh, the guy who's really good at this is upstairs.
Yeah.
Literally upstairs.
Well, I tell you, like I said, they're very different worlds, but you're lucky it's not in comedy, because comedians in general, everyone is so out for themselves that a lot of times it's like you're lucky when you find people that you just want to build each other up, because it's very people are so worried about, what am I going to get? Oh, I got 5 minutes on that show. It's like that kind of stuff that's, it's multiplied the intensity in that, I think. But like in yoga, it's going to be there too, even though it's supposed to be more of a open kind of.
Yeah, there's drama in yoga. There always has been.
We're all dramatic.
Anyways, my respect and my love for my teacher was always there, and I know that she knew that, which is really important. So I went to Yoga Works, and I did 2 classes in a row, and I cried like an idiot in that room, and was given a lot of really sweet love and respect. Shout out to Jess Ray, who teaches at Yoga Works on Montana. She loved me up really sweet. So
up really sweet.
Just they take care of you. They know, she knows I'm OG. She knows that I was in there to feel that energy. So.
And the other thing that I know that was going on, which you can't really fault people for, I guess, because they meant well, but we all know this. People want to be involved in people post when a celebrity dies, R.I.P. so and so. It's like you don't know. It's like they feel like they know people already. So if it's a teacher in their world of yoga that they even knew about, they're going to share it like that. I know for someone that actually knew her, it can be. I guess that's where I think that it's like that's when you have to be generous. Like I get it. She's the shit, and of course people want to identify with her even though they didn't really know her. I broke bread with her. She was my friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She was just, I mean, I get that. She impacted the world of yoga, truly. She basically created what we teach, which is alignment-based vinyasa. And that, lots of people teach vinyasa yoga and lots of people teach power yoga. And there's that really specific little crew of us, so many actually, thousands of people that she trained, but that teach the alignment, but with the movement, the vinyasa movement as well. So
right.
The alignment became the most important piece. So, which is why I teach it the way I teach it and why my teachers teach that way. And, but yeah, so that went to LA and then, prepared for surgery, which, was crazy. That was crazy. So I found out, and when I was in the emergency room for 15 hours in June, this was in the paperwork, and I didn't pay too much attention to it until 2 days ago. But it said possible failed E-Sure. So if none of you know what an E-Sure is, and I don't know if James was able to look that up or not, but E-Sure is a device that came about early 2000s. That's permanent birth control for women. So what this device does is it puts metal coils into each fallopian tube and then clips with a metal clip. This device has since been pulled off the market. 2017 pulled off the market out of every other country but the United States.
It should be pulled out of anyone's vagina that still has one in there.
It's not in the vagina. It's in the fallopian tubes.
Sorry. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'll get better with that.
Yeah. And then pulled off the market in the United States in 2018. But here's what I find a lot of things very interesting because I was enlightened very quickly. So if something's wrong with your car, you'll get a recall, right?
Right.
Car's broken.
Yeah.
They put something in so many females' bodies with no letter. I got no letter. I got no warning. I got no recall. So this was now for me 6 years. So it's been 6 years. This has been in my body. And didn't know this until I started, texting my best friend Laura, who was on the LA podcast. And she said, there's a documentary on Netflix called The Bleeding Edge, which is exactly about this device. So it has this device, bladder mesh, and the Da Vinci robot, basically. So many women's bodies have been permanently screwed up because of this E-Sure device.
What was one of them that you said happened? This woman, she can't have sex ever again.
She can't have sex ever again.
Because the coil expanded?
Well, the coils can move, and so they end up perforating the uterus, different parts, ovaries, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, I had a failed E-Sure. So they got the left one in, they clipped it. They got the right one in, they clipped it. The left one wouldn't let the coil in. My tube wouldn't let the coil in, but they still clipped it. So I have these random metal pieces, which caused, and I did have James, I sent James some gross pictures, but if you look at these pictures, you'll see the metal actually in my body. My right fallopian tube was so full of blood and calcification, it was creating its own cancer, essentially. They took my right tube, my right ovary, and my left tube. They left my left ovary. So this device not only created the problem is my tube. If my tube had burst, I would have gone septic. I could have died. It created a mass that was on my right ovary because there was so much blood pooling and clotting in this space because it had nowhere to go. It also created all these crazy adhesions through my abdomen. So not only did they have to take these pieces, but they had to then scoop out the adhesions so that my abdomen was clean. This is crazy shit.
I just want to warn people. I'm going to show them the pictures right now that you sent.
Yeah, this is my
and
body.
just so you know, this is not the
body.
vagina. If you were wondering, because I'm an idiot. Sorry.
So
No, it
that's
isn't.
inside there. So the one on the top left, I don't know if you remember which order, but let's see if I can see
It's not on. It's not on my.
It's not on the screen. It'll be
Yeah.
on the screen for them though. It's the first one you sent.
Yeah, I have to look because I don't know. Oh yeah. Okay. So
yeah, explain what's going on. Top left.
okay. So that's my ovary, and then you've got my ovary in my tube. So the first tops, and you see the little metal coils, like the clips, the little dark pieces, the clips that are in between, especially on the bottom. That metal arm on the bottom, that's the robot that's doing my surgery. But you see the metal clip right next to it.
Yeah.
So these, and my poor little ovary was all sad and like white and being destroyed by this thing that is now out. And yeah, I definitely got on the phone to see what's happening. There is a class action lawsuit that's already been started. What I found really interesting in the documentary is that the FDA only did clinical trials. They only tested this for 1.5 years. That's the longest test in the female body. And when the FDA approved it, the main investigator that was leading the clinical trial had stock in the eSure device.
Of course.
And they paid a spokesperson from eSure to speak to the FDA, which is another reason why it got approved. Now, 10 years later, women are having all these insane problems. I can track back now to my chronic backaches that I've been having for the last 3 years, my literal hemorrhaging, which I was sort of passing off as being perimenopausal. This was all because of this device, that I would bleed for like a month at a time, and insane. Just crazy, crazy shit. Some of these women are having neurological problems. So this was the entire cause of this 7th surgery on my body that was completely avoidable.
So the good news on that is...
And I got this news right before we got here.
Can I tell?
Yeah.
Hillary is cancer-free, like we said before. Yay.
It was not ovarian cancer. In fact, it says this on the documentary too, because of the transvaginal ultrasound, PET scans, etc., it looks like cancer when you see the pictures.
Yeah.
So we get falsely diagnosed with like ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, etc. They get in there and like, oh, this is all because of this particular device. But I am cancer-free, and that's amazing.
Thank God.
Amazing.
You know who probably would have done that investigation a little bit better if there were some females working at eSure instead of a bunch of fucking dickheads. Again, this is insane though. And of course, now that it's a class action suit, you're going to get $5 and a letter in the mail instead of 10 million. I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's like everyone.
I don't know about that.
Everyone
We'll see.
deserves a bunch of money though, and if it's really Bear, is it Bear? Is that owned by
It's
Johnson?
Bear.
Is that owned by Johnson and Johnson?
I don't know if they're the same anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, well, if you see one of those Johnson and Johnson's trust fund,
It's Bear.
Bear.
Yeah.
So if you see any of those grandkids running around New York City with that Bear money, just punch them in the neck for me.
It's not their fault.
Yeah. They're bleeding off that money. Anyways, well, that's good.
Yeah. So cancer-free. This was.
She's recovering well. I've been a hell of a nurse. I think it's been good.
He was a good nurse for like a day and a half.
It's been a day and a half now. I've still been a good nurse. This is the
No,
problem.
you stopped being a great nurse this afternoon.
This is the thing, because
I got up and got showered, and you figure like, oh, she's better.
No, listen, this is what's going on, and bless her little heart, because one, she's not an addict like me. She lives. The strongest thing she'll ever take is an ibuprofen, and it's barely ever. And they gave her a handful of Norcos for the pain, which she really needs. But on the side, the side effect of that is you're a little bit high. So sometimes she'll be like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Oh my God, I just told you 2 seconds ago."
Okay.
So we're fighting a little bit.
As soon as you have a robot reach inside your belly and cut out pieces of you, then you can complain.
Yeah, mine's probably gonna be something weird like diverticulitis or something.
I have my belly pictures because they pull your guts out of a bag out of your belly button. They do. They pull all your stuff out of your belly.
And the
button.
girl that came out that did the surgery, not the girl, the woman, the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor.
Okay, first of all, she looks like she's about 20 and she's a badass. She's like,
She's
yeah,
great.
she goes, this wrapped everything up in a nice little bow, put it in a bag, sent it to pathology. I was like, oh, me and Hillary's son, Jordan, my stepson, are sitting there. First, the doctor walks out with the pictures. Do you mind if we show these? And we were like, what is that?
Oh my God.
Oh, whoa.
Oh my God.
But, yeah, so you've rested. You need to rest more.
I know.
But of course, her first question, like the doctor's like, take this, don't lift anything over 20 pounds. She's like, when can I have sex again?
That was my first question. That was my first concern.
So
and I'm feeling like I'm ready to go.
okay.
I mean,
Okay, fast forward to the
Wednesday.
break room later that day in the hospital. So this lady, so horny, she's drooling from still like in recovery in the recovery room, talking about when am I gonna bang?
I would never say that.
To be honest,
Oh my God.
to be honest, I thought the old man was getting a break. I thought I was like, oh, she's laid up.
Well, you might have to get a break.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Because I'm not. Oh, wait. No, but that's really funny, too, because the nurse, I thought you were going to hold on to this, but the nurse, I asked her.
I'll
this
repeat myself
question.
like I always do.
Yeah. And I swear, she said it this way. She said, don't put anything in your vagina. That's what she said.
No, I'll tell you how she did
She
it.
didn't say you couldn't have sex. She said, don't put anything.
Is that the lady from
which
Futurama?
is such a weird way to
The
say
Futurama
that.
nurse?
No,
Oh my
it
God.
was the other one.
So listen to people.
Explain that.
don't make
please.
me
Okay,
laugh.
so
It actually
the
really
first
hurts.
nurse that walked in was this. She's about 6'1", very cartoonish face, and then all of a sudden she spoke, and I almost like passed out. She said, "So I'm not really sure if you can put anything in your vagina, but let me check with the doctor. Did they give you any panties? Did they give you any panties? What kind of panties are you think?"
You have to stop.
And then she's like, "Can I put a tampon in my vagina?"
I didn't
And
say
she goes,
vagina.
"I'm gonna have to ask the doctor."
You guys,
I go, "Are you shucking on a?
Ever.
Are you shucking
First
on a
of all,
word?"
that many times.
She sounded like she had a cough shop in her mouth. She was driving me nuts. I go,
Okay.
"And
First
how
of
long
all-
has this woman been talking to people like that in the hospital?"
That's how she talks, probably forever.
Okay, that's where we got. I know no discrimination, but I mean, come on.
Okay, so let's talk about the panties they give you in the hospital. Those are
Whoa.
sexy. They're like unisex, and they're made of like netting.
No, they're mummy underwear.
They are mummy
It
underwear.
looks like a grandma mummy took her mummy underwear off.
Yeah, but you could tell that they could be boys too. Like it doesn't matter. They're definitely not.
You know what's really sad about the people that they throw those on are like some dope fiend comes in there and has no clothes and they throw those underwear on him.
Well,
It's
at least
sad.
they're giving them underwear.
No, they can give them better underwear than that.
I mean, they gotta, probably give out lots of underpants.
Cafeteria is expensive. Anyways,
Yeah.
so that lady was crazy. They're awesome. The hospital in general is just, it's a wild place to be. I think it's just so many people. Like you wait in the waiting room. This is the efficient outpatient surgery room. There was 150 people in there waiting. All I thought about is like when you take your dog to get fixed, like this back room. Like, all right, get them all in there. Then we found out a lot of the doctors do. They're like in the middle of 4 surgeries. You finish up
Yeah.
here. I'm going to go. Like they do their main part, and then they have all the people with less experience sewing you up or doing whatever, which I guess is fine. I mean, I was
don't know.
never a
I
fan
went
of
to
going.
I went to the beach. That's where I went.
Oh, when you got Ethan?
I was full on at the beach. I felt the sun.
Is that when you count down to 10 and you're like 10, 9?
I don't even remember that happening. I just was out.
What I remember when I got my hernia operation, because first they were like, "Do you want to be awake for this and just have a local, or do you want to go under?" And then some guy got wheeled out in a wheelchair, and I was like, "What'd he take?" They're like, "He went under." I'm like, "I want some of that." He looked like he was just out. But
Yeah.
then when you wake up from that, you're like shivering.
No, it's bad.
So-
I'm still shaking.
So it's
I'm
just
gonna be
just
shaking
like
for like 6 weeks.
it's like a huge shot at something that's enough to make your body DT that quickly.
Well, but you have to detox it. No, it takes like 6 weeks.
No, but I mean,
6 to 8
the
weeks to-
feeling of DT is like when you first come out of surgery, like the shivering and the
Yeah,
cold.
I mean, like I'm shaky right now. I mean, you feel it.
So
Yeah,
that's how
you feel
strong
it.
that shit is.
Yeah.
Jesus
But it
Christ.
was pleasant. I was definitely on the beach for sure. And then I started coughing and crying.
Of course you're right, because that's
I'm back.
because they were trying to get your breathing tube out, so you came back into.
I came back like coughing and
Of
choking.
course, you were at the
and
beach with sand all over your
I
clothes.
was so great.
Well, I think I'd be on the cement somewhere with less sand.
Probably you would. Yeah.
Maybe in the city, maybe in Manhattan. just
Probably in
walking
the
around.
city.
Yeah.
Yep.
Getting a coffee.
Yep.
Ah,
So so many women have had this surgery. I mean, there are so many women that get these pieces taken out.
For the Esher.
No, just in general.
Yeah.
For so many reasons.
No, I mean, the more people I talk to, I mean, I was trying to, of course I'm asking everyone, but they're like, my sister had that. My wife had, cervical whatever stuff, you know. I don't want to say scrape, but it's like scraping, or they have to go in there and figure out what's going on, and then they end up taking stuff. But that made me feel kind of better because you're going through it. But then as it got closer to the surgery, I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening. And, we went and you're like, made sure that your will was all tight, and I was like ready to freak out. I was like, if you tell me one more time what I'm supposed to do when you die, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. Because I was like,
but I mean, all that's really important. It's really important. So much crap goes on in between if you don't have that stuff taken care of.
No, it's crazy.
Stuff goes to probate. You have to fight for like guardianship over the medical power of attorney.
None of it makes any sense because when
important.
our lawyer told us that if I wasn't signed on to make those decisions right away, they would rather have you wait and marinate in some emergency room. Like, oh yeah, and then they would hire someone you don't know to make a decision. Why? Why would that be better? It's probably some liability where the person will say, oh, I made that decision, but I wasn't in my right mind, and you guys are all fucked.
Yeah.
I hate it all. I hate people that sue people too, really, for the most part, even though you got your little...
Well, I'm talking about it for sure. I mean, I'm angry because I have had 6 surgeries already.
Yeah.
And this was the 7th, and this was an avoidable surgery, which I'm pretty done. Like, karmically too, this has got to be it. I'm pretty done having pieces of my body taken away.
It's amazing because you're the one in the hot seat and all the shit's happening to you, but you're way more calm. Like, I'm in the hospital, I'm ready. I have road rage in the hospital because that they're gonna walk in and 3 different people are gonna ask you the exact same questions.
Yeah,
and
it's annoying.
You were waiting, and I blow up right in the middle of it. You're asking her again.
Right.
Oh, neck dissection. Like, how do you not know that she had a neck dissection if you're looking at her chart?
Right.
Because it goes back to my whole thing though. It's like the only thing they really do know is how much they want you to pay. All the time. So I refuse to ever be nice in the hospital.
I feel like we should talk about that too, because this is not okay, and it's not like it's going to change anything ever. But I was asked 3 days before my surgery to pay my full deductible before they would do my surgery.
Which
and I'm sorry, nobody has that kind of money sitting around. What happens is we're in this space where we're completely screwed because we make just enough money. We make a decent living.
Yeah.
If you're broke, you're taken care of. If you're a millionaire, you're taken care of.
Well, 'cause you're good.
We're the ones that are screwed.
Yeah.
So
that's
absolutely not okay.
And the thing is, someone like you on the phone with them, automatically you're a bill payer. You're on time, and when someone tells you that, you automatically are looking for it. And I was like, that's why I called my mom over, and you talk to people, they're like, you don't have to give them shit. And it's true because, one, it makes total sense. My aunt was saying she's worked in billing at the hospital for 23 years, is that first of all, they can't ask you for that kind of money before they do the surgery. What if it doesn't?
Which is what they were asking for. They're saying full deductible up front.
But I'll tell you what's happening. Now, what's happening is so many people are using the emergency room as their doctor's office with no insurance. They don't pay their hospital
because
bills.
insurance is impossible to get or even deal with.
But there's a lot of people that also decide just to live off this and do that way. Like, I'm going to the emergency room, I got a cough. It costs thousands of dollars to have them in there, which it shouldn't cost that much.
Right.
But yeah, they're going to go after someone like you. Oh, look at this person. She cares about her credit and her children and her husband and like her business, and she'll probably try to cough up $7,000. But it's like you just got to say no. But I get it why you were so stressed. I was like, this is gonna work out.
Definitely stressful. Yeah.
And the people that do that for a job, I mean, they cancel Christmas every day of their life. They must want to. No, they probably have They're probably all. They probably want to kill themselves.
No, she was really sweet.
No, but it's a stress involved with constantly telling people that you like.
For sure, that's
I
gotta
can't.
Be really
you have
stressful.
cancer. Well, give me $7,000 because I get paid $30,000 a year to be the bearer of bad news. The cancel Christmas. Wah wah. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Right. So you did pretty good as far as being the support person. I think the day of you were amazing. I think, when all the pimps came over. Pimp shout out what?
All her friends. She calls her friends the pimps. Yeah, but I was
named themselves the
basically
yoga
what I was
pimps
going to
in
say is like,
2004.
okay, imagine this, and I don't want to toot my own horn.
Sharing our
Okay, imagine Paul Rudd and I Love You Man when he was like making the little Sundays for everyone and all that. Paul Rudd ain't got shit on me. I had her apron on. I was cooking dinner. I was like making sure she took her Norcos on time, so she was sleepy.
He did this 2 nights in a row. He cooked dinner for Jesse and I yesterday too.
Yeah. Like everyone knows who Jesse is. Shout out to Jessica Williams.
Shout out to Jessica
Hilary's just talking like
Williams.
we're talking to 4 people we know.
Whatever. Good enough.
But I thought it was good, and like the boys, your one boy was there, and he was very good. But
So
the
sweet,
thing is,
yeah.
no one really knows how to handle it because, like a kid too, it's like the more I think about like how kids can deal with stress like that, a child might go, "Oh my God, what's going on? There's something wrong with my mom. Does that mean I'm not going to get taken care of?" That's where a kid's head goes,
Right.
even though he's older than that. But there's a lot of so everyone's just trying to figure it out. Your mom was so sweet. Like I saw, as much as she
Always.
tries to play it cool and stuff too about it, I saw once you went in to the room when we saw that she did what you do with the little breath. She did so she did her whole little don't cry, don't stress out. So, and your mom wanted to know what was going on. Shout out to Baba,
Yeah.
who's got an iPhone now, getting crazy with the emojis. She went from flip phone to I don't know what she's doing. She's ready though. She's like, when can I get this Netflix on my phone? I'm like, as soon as you put your
Girl.
debit card on there.
Watch that documentary. Speaking of Netflix again,
What's it called again?
The Bleeding Edge.
The Bleeding Edge, yes. And that's so
Yeah.
wild that
Kinda
all
boring, but
that just makes so much sense. And that's why sometimes I know that you listen to your body, but you also, I mean, as an example, you buy your son 6 months worth of contacts. You walk around with one broken one in your eye, like cracked. I'm like, what is happening? Take care of yourself.
Correct.
It's like
They're,
your kid's got more
soft.
contacts and you're over here. You're the one driving and making money. This kid's over there playing video games with perfect vision.
I'm a mama. That's what I do.
Well, so anyways, looking out for yourself, but it's like that first pain or whatever, we should have got some. I mean, I guess your body told you when it was time, though.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like I'm so grateful
But how-
for what my body tells me.
I'm so
That's why we were in
conf-
emergency.
I'm confused though. The shit that she saw, because that was pictures from inside. So all those X-rays and everything, none of that was going to show that metal.
No, we had to get in.
But who asked you about the E-shore? That Asian chick in the gynecologist in Ann Arbor?
No, in fact, I was the one that always brought up that I had. She did ask me. She was the first one to ask me.
But how can then it's just crazy.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching a
I know.
documentary on Netflix about cervicals and gynos and all that shit, it's going to be a gynecologist.
Right.
Oh,
so
there's this thing going on right now.
That's the thing. You wonder if they knew, and if they just don't want to jump on the bandwagon because they could be in trouble then, or if they just really didn't know. I mean, there's no way to know. Who knows? I don't know. It's in that first paperwork though when I was at U of M for that 15 hours that the probable cause or possible cause could be the failed E-shore.
Jesus Christ.
Well, and I mean, I don't know. Again, guys, go get a vasectomy.
What? No.
Takes like 5 seconds.
I absolutely would.
Snip, step.
Jeez. I saw something on the way here on 94. It said without any surgical, some other kind of vasectomy. But what if it doesn't take and we have a baby when we're 50? What?
I have no fallopian tubes.
Word up.
FYI.
I mean, you got to
Cannot get
let's look at
pregnant
let's look
any
at the
longer.
brighter side.
No tubes.
Could you imagine what
Salpingectomy.
what a child would do to our demeanor?
Not yours, no.
No, babe. Also, have you seen older people walking around with a young? Okay, I saw a couple. They're like in their late 40s. They look like they adopted some kid. The kid was like, "You're dead. You're mine." They look like they were like. It was just yesterday. I was reading a Kindle on the beach with my husband. Now I have a ADD monster, ADHD monster that's not mine because I wanted a kid.
I feel like I have a kid. My belly moves when I laugh like Santa Claus.
Having kids, body wise and all that, physically and everything, that's a young person's game.
It is, but it's different than it used to be. I mean,
but
women are waiting. Like, it's different.
But they wait. But have you seen someone in their 40s with a brand new kid?
I have. And especially if they've waited this long for that kid, they're so happy.
My friend Jeff, though,
it's
with
the best
his
thing
son,
on the planet.
this is what they act like. They're just like, you want to take him for a minute? I'm hungry. Like they go back to
Everyone does that no matter how old you are because you get over what you're exhausted.
I do have to watch that because I was talking to 2 of my best friends with their kids, and my friend Joey, whose kid is much older now, but it's like something I'm never gonna experience, and that's fine. But it's like the love that you have when you're like, you don't understand this little piece of shit. I would do I would lay down in traffic for. I hate that. I would take a bullet for or whatever. But it's like, so when they drive you nuts, you're like, but that's my boy.
Yeah, it's the
But
truth.
it's a tough thing because you have to walk through that fire to appreciate that kind of love. But it doesn't mean everyone has to either. But
No, we talked about that the last one. Not
anyway, so we're
everybody
not
has
having
to.
kids. That's cool. And
No tubes.
screw the eSure cum catcher that doesn't work.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
it's
didn't
bad
catch
news.
them. It
Yeah.
scared them
Sounds like a
away.
whole bad. It sounds like a. Yeah, that sounds
Well,
like
the
a
worst
mail
part
order
for me
shit.
too is that mine didn't work because only one side opened.
Well, what-
so I had to get a Paragard anyways. Like I have an IUD and
And we
this
couldn't
crazy
we
shit in
couldn't
my
get
body.
we couldn't get the pill because of your thyroid, right?
Yeah, but I can't have
Hormone-
anything that's hormonal
Anything
because my
hormonal.
cancer is hormonal.
Thank
My old
God, the
cancer
pill
is-
makes everybody just crazy.
My old cancer is hormonal.
I just wish I was shooting blanks, but we'll never know. I guess, right?
We will never know, sir.
Because I'm not going to go to the doctor for that. Not with an HMO. That's PPO shit right there. What are you here for? Check my sperm.
Why? And why would you? Why would anyone do that?
That's the thing about.
You'd have to be really bored.
No, but I'm a hypochondriac. That's the thing you said
lot
about
of
finding out
time
what's
on
wrong
your
with your
hands.
body. You know what? They might not know. I think it's ridiculous. They're like, oh, now you get a colonoscopy when you're 50. Oh, yeah, so maybe I could have a fucking tumor in my ass for 10 years. It's like, why wouldn't you just check that all the time? I'm serious.
So vulgar. I don't
Am
know.
I vulgar?
Kind of sometimes.
No, but this babe, it's like that's what's unfair. They don't want to do it. They'll check you for. Oh, we didn't check you for that because you came in for this. So great. Why don't you just check me to see if I'm running okay? Like you said
Yeah.
about a car. Okay, when they hook your car up to a diagnostic,
Yeah.
through blood, can't they tell?
Yeah.
One, if you have cancer, no
Yes.
matter what, right?
Usually.
Yeah. Any kind of disease, right? Through blood.
Usually.
So why
I
are
don't know about
so
any
why are
kind
they
of
like,
disease,
oh, we
but
didn't catch that, Because any tumor is going to raise your blood cell counts, right?
Usually, yes. For
I
sure.
don't know. I'll be at the doctor. I'm going back. No, I'm going to find out what's going on with him. There's got to be something wrong with me.
He just wants there to be.
No, there's got to be something. There's no way, the way I lived my life,
But why?
and at
would
my
you,
age,
just like why?
because I don't appreciate when a doctor just looks at me and goes, you look fine to me, just a little chubby. It's like, that's not enough. Hey, I could have high cholesterol for sure.
But you don't. That's the thing. And you're sitting across the table from someone who's had things. So that's really annoying, by the way.
All right, I'm just saying that the doctor should be a little more careful and spend the time and tests
You
shouldn't
gotta
be
spend
so,
time with your doctor.
tests shouldn't be so expensive.
That's true. I
And
agree with that.
yeah, I think it's crazy I just think it's silly. I don't know. I think it's crazy that Narcan for, reviving addicts is $5,000, and when it costs a nickel to make. So these are the people that I don't give a shit. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm
yes.
mean when I'm at the hospital.
Well, but you understand that doesn't help the situation, correct?
I know it feels good.
It's also fear-based, though.
I know. So I'm like the
You're like the
You
scared
know,
raccoon
not
trapped
revising.
in
You
a
know, you know what
cage.
you did a couple days ago, and I hate it when I see someone do something that I do that you get so annoyed by, but then
Yeah.
you actually gave in because you were really tired.
Yeah.
We were at the airline, and something with our bag being. They said don't fly Spirit unless you really have to, and then you're by yourself.
For
And
real, you guys
if you have your
don't fly
backpack
Spirit.
with you, but anyways, our return flight was Spirit from LA just because it wasn't United. The times were good. Anyways, so instead of being 50 pounds is the normal weight and the price, it's 40, so they trick you. And she did something in front of me that I would do, and she would just hate, and I saw it, and now I know not to do it. She goes to the poor lady at the counter at Spirit. She goes, this is ridiculous, right? And the woman just wanted to go, you know what, bitch? I just work here. That's what she.
I was so mad. That was
She almost
so
got
ridiculous.
she almost got La Raza on you. She was like ready to be like. Fuck, she was.
I was pretty ready too, actually.
She was like from the east side of LA.
It was
She was like
4:30
this
in the
bitch.
morning. I was blind, and
No,
they
that was
trick you.
that was on the way back.
Oh,
so this
yeah.
was like
No.
6 in the afternoon.
I was still
But she was like,
ready.
she just goes, this is what she wanted to say. You know what, bitch? I hear this every 5 minutes, so you can't fuck with me because I'm going out tonight.
Yeah. Well, didn't make a difference, no matter how much I complained.
I know, but I saw. Now I know when you're like, Aaron, do you know what you look like when you do that? Because you never do that. And I'm not doing this to call you out. I'm saying that
Call
we
me
all,
out. I don't care.
We
I was
all
pissed.
have these moments when we do it, but I do that all the time. Great. So what are we doing here? Cool. We just waiting in line.
Yeah, no, you do that all the time.
And I got to remind myself too, and I'm here to admit this because it's really true. I find myself in lines or in grocery stores, and or in traffic. When you're bitching about it, but you're there too.
Right.
So what is it? You're right that everyone else is.
Well,
so that's
today,
what a piece of shit I
This
am.
happened today. We're going through the toll, and he's honking at the person in front. You leaned your head out the window and yelled something.
Yeah.
And then we got up there, and there was a coin stuck in the thing, so nobody could use coins.
I didn't honk at anyone until they honked at me.
And
I
then
was
it
the first
wasn't
person to
taking
honk at.
dollars.
Oh, by the way, shout out
And
to
then it wasn't
Indiana's
taking cars.
whole
Like, how are we
shit.
supposed to get through?
Yeah. Indiana, your toll roads stink.
But then
And-
someone started honking at you.
Yeah, and if you don't have everyone working in the booth and your change thing is clogged with frickin' Canadian nickels,
I
so
think it
no,
was like a casino token. Or
yeah,
something.
and your credit card swiper doesn't work, and we can't get through. You stink.
So he got
Indiana, you
honked at and
stink.
leaned his head out the window and yelled at some lady behind us.
Okay, because I go, you're gonna have fun here in a
Oh
second
my
too.
God.
So what this?
It's
I gotta
it's
stop doing. I gotta
devastating.
stop.
It kills
I gotta
me.
stop acting like an ass because really it's like
Never gonna happen.
no. Listen, because I want to work on it. Because one thing is I need to be able to control myself in situations where that's the really part of life. Like I was at the FedEx office and obviously one poor woman was working there for whatever reason. Someone called in sick. They stink. Whatever. But I'm in the line going, oh, one person working here, huh? Oh, good, one person. It's like, what am I doing?
What are you
And I must
doing?
look like an asshole.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
And I still remember the time when I was so inappropriate at the corner of the Apple Store at North and Halstead.
Yeah.
And this woman tried to turn. She was just edging out, and I literally lost my mind and yelled into her car. And she was like just a normal, like middle-aged woman.
Normal person.
And she looked at me without flinching because she didn't seem frightened or anything. And she goes, "You're really embarrassing." I was like, I'll never forget that.
I love that.
So I'm working on
the
it.
truth.
I am working on it, but sometimes I'm cool and calm, and sometimes I'm like, man, I handled that great.
So here's what I
If
think.
I'm hungry, I'm
Yeah,
more.
he is a Snickers bar commercial. It's the truth.
Oh, what is that?
But he's cool and calm, but something's always sort of festering and just waiting
I still believe
To
though, if you don't
bubble.
know what the fuck you want,
to
get
bubble,
out of line.
to bubble up.
I still believe that if you don't know what you want, step aside and figure it out.
Why are we talking about lines?
I don't
now?
know because I'm just whatever.
So
We got off the
no,
topic.
but I was thinking more about you being the nurse for the last 2 days.
Yes, I like
You're
taking.
calm.
I'll tell you
calm,
what.
Calm until
Shout out to my friend Joey Hafner
then
because
you're not.
years ago when I was a piece of shit, I would call him and he'd go, "Listen, man," he's like, I go, "What's up?" And he's like, "I just need you to be okay." Meaning he wanted me to live my life where I didn't need something or I wasn't in trouble and the house was on fire. And he gave me a great compliment. He just said that you said you took my advice years ago, and he was just very proud that I was able, because I'm proud of myself that I showed up. Because the thing is, when you get sober and you're able to actually show up for people that love you,
Yeah.
more than just like I used to show up, but then it would be backhanded, and something else would happen. And they'd have to compensate or take care of something later instead of just doing something, taking care of it, where that person totally feels safe and taken care of. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I was still a fucking drunk. So
Yeah. And you do. You're sweet. You did show up. It's good.
yeah.
And it's what I need. What's going on your phone?
I don't know.
How's it going?
I'm tired, man. I need another wipe.
Okay.
You
Here's
guys,
your wipe.
okay, listen. This one's
Wait,
really
it's
dry. I'm gonna tell you
dry.
right now. First of all, I never thought I
Pour some water on it.
it first got on my radar, but lavender
He's
is
really
so
gonna do it.
calming. And
He
these
does
these
love
Meyer Thrifty grocery store lavender nighttime wipes, calming as shit. Now that I had one on my face, I want one all the time. I think I'm gonna have one on stage. If I do more than 10 minutes, I'm gonna have a calming wipe with me. I'm gonna have a calming wipe.
You should.
Shout
Good
out
for
to.
you.
I'd like to be sponsored
Oh
by
my
calming
God.
wipes.
I think you should be, yes.
Wipes in general are great,
I like
actually.
cucumber wipes too.
Cucumber wipes, baby wipes,
No, baby
Tux
wipes.
Tux medicated
No.
wipes for
We're
the
not-
roids.
Aw. Speaking of, they filled my belly with CO2. That's how
know.
they make enough space to get in there. And it's like, that's what hurts.
I know.
That's why my ribs are killing me.
Can I be honest with
Because
you?
I'm
You know-
literally
you
just
know what-
full of
you know what
gas.
you're finally gonna is gonna happen. Hopefully sooner than later. You are going to fart a lot, like hopefully followed by a big poo poo, and you're gonna feel better. It's true though. Everybody gets constipated, especially when you're taking Norcos. That's part of it. Your guts are all twisted.
Yeah.
Or like when they have to flip a horse's belly or whatever. Maybe yours all twisted.
God, that would not be good, by the way.
No, but they're gonna
that would just
untwist.
be a whole other
But you know when you have
problem.
like a gut, just like like man, and then you're gonna,
Yeah, honey,
you're
surgery
gonna,
constipates
you're gonna
you.
pass,
Thank you.
you're gonna pass
I'm
gas,
aware.
and you're gonna be like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I'd like the pregnant like CO2 belly to go down, and
Yeah.
but
This would be a good time for some idiot. We'll be in probably in Indiana or something, going to a store, and somebody be like, "Oh, are you expecting?" And you're like, "No, I had surgery, you idiot." Stop asking people
'cause they
stupid
do
questions.
like to, ask me those questions.
Like in speed, or anyone. They ask all the kinds of. Someone did something to me a couple days ago. I'm going all over the place now.
Yeah, I just
She asked me. Someone asked me a stupid question. I said, "Get that coffee. Just focus on the job."
oh my God.
So, you don't have to ask me what's going on, because I'll tell you. I'll tell you what's going on.
And by the way, I haven't taken my Norco, so because I want it to be coherent for this podcast.
But I was trying to tell you that is it.
Well, I called
since
out Eshore.
You've been taking them every 6 hours, so it's a good amount of it's in your system now. So you're a little. It's good. Are you scratchy at all?
I'm definitely itchy.
Okay, because
yes.
that's anybody that has a pill problem knows that half the time they're all itchy and scratchy is because they're itchy and scratchy because they make you scratchy.
The IV morphine makes you the itchiest, though. I was itchiest the first day, for sure.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, for sure.
But it works.
It's crazy how they give that to people, Nick. And they wonder why people are dope addicts.
Well, and they gave me fentanyl when I left, followed by like Norco. I mean, I'm happy they did that. I need that.
You need
And the reason, like, I won't refill it. I don't like to take stuff.
No, because what's happening with you already, and I've noticed
What?
because you're not a pill taker and you don't like to feel that. You like to be yourself.
I do.
So you're starting to feel, you're like, why do I? I'm like, yeah, they wear on you. That's why so many people that have to take those, and if they're smart and they're not trying to get hooked, they end up switching to weed or something, because like cancer patients and stuff, like if they have to take those all the time, they make them sick.
Yeah.
To be constantly feeling like that, your stomach always hurts.
Yeah.
They're not good. They're horrible.
No.
It's one of those. It's the really bad business. Big
But
pharma.
I'm grateful to have them for these last couple of days, just because this is painful for sure.
It is painful.
I'm wondering when I can do yoga. They say 6 weeks. I'm not. I don't
You keep
believe
saying
that.
no one said 6 weeks, did they? They said
Yeah, she
don't lift
did.
over 20 pounds for 1 week. So I got some 19-pound weights for you at home that you can pick up
Such
and
an
down just to feel
idiot.
active.
Oh my God.
Maybe we'll do some laundry. That'll be some light
Yeah,
exercise.
that's cute. I'm gonna do some yoga. Is what I'm gonna do.
No sex for 8 weeks.
That's cute. Nice try. Not happening. Oh my God. The things you complain about.
I'm not complaining about it at all.
Better not.
No, we can't talk about it now. We'll talk about some other stuff.
We're gonna talk about it next time. I have to go to bed.
She does have to go to bed. You guys, thanks for listening. I want to give a shout out to
Jeremiah.
a good friend of mine, Jeremiah Metzger, who does all of the posters that we've been doing for the podcast right now, and also does the great memes for me and Robert Kelly and the different shows, and him and different guys. And always thank to James Webb.
Yeah, James.
This guy, he's our Jamie.
Yes, he is.
Thank you.
All right, I'm bored with you.
I'm bored with you.
Love you.
I love you too.
Man, ciao.
Man.